So Scream Factory is releasing Death Becomes Her on a special collector's edition Blu-ray. As you can see here, this is coming out at some point. I'm not 100% sure of the day that it's coming out because obviously I never do my homework for these things. But it is coming out, and they was nice enough to send me this in advance. And this was really my first time seeing the movie, though I do have some experience with it as a kid. Same director as Back to the Future, which I'm not going to try to pronounce his name, or maybe I will. It's Robert Zemeckis, something like that. Hope I'm close there, but if I'm not, bear with me. I remember seeing, though, the trailer for Death Becomes Her as a kid. This movie came out in '92. I remember seeing the trailer because I think on a old, maybe, I don't know if they were still doing Saturday Night's Main Event in '92 or not. Maybe they was. Maybe it was one of the last ones in '92, but I remember there was some wrestling event that I had recorded off on a VHS tape, and the trailer for this was all over the commercials for it, and that's where I remember it for the most part. Did rent it on VHS when it came out, I guess in '92, '93, who knows, because it was kind of spread out back then between VHS actual release dates and theatrical release dates. And I watched it. I didn't remember a lot about it. I remembered, what you see here, the Goldie Hawn with the hole in her stomach, and of course you got Meryl Streep. Although, technically, if you want to nitpick a little bit, well, yes, this is the cover, and it's been like the more famous cover, I guess you could say, for this movie for all these years. Shouldn't Meryl Streep's character be wearing something besides red? Because Goldie Hawn's character is the one in the movie that's wearing the red dress for the most part. And spoiler alert, she's wearing it when she gets the hole in her stomach right there. But nonetheless, I digress as we talk about the plot here a little bit. Basically, these two are frenemies, I guess you could say. They're friends, but they're still enemies, always competing with one another. And at the very start of the movie, Goldie Hawn's character is about to marry Bruce Willis's character when he's introduced to Meryl Streep's character, and he kind of takes a liking to her pretty quickly, and Goldie Hawn's character informs him that every man she's ever had has been stolen by her. Well, we flash forward so many years or whatever it is, and now he's married to Meryl Streep's character, and she's extremely overweight and depressed, and she goes to the mental institution, and all this stuff happens, and it just skips ahead a little bit, and the gist of things is Meryl Streep's character is aging. She doesn't want to age. She goes find something, kind of makes a deal. I don't want to spoil too much. She sort of finds the fountain of youth, and while she's out doing that, Bruce Willis's character is reconnecting with Goldie Hawn's character, and they plot to kill her, which you can't really blame Bruce Willis's character because the poor guy is pretty well picked on by both of them throughout the movie, or being used and manipulated throughout the movie by both of them. Goldie Hawn's character just so happens to already have found that fountain of youth, and that's the gist of things. It's more funny than scary, obviously. It's a little bit of an odd choice for maybe the Scream Factory line. I could probably see it more in the basic Shout line than I could the Scream Factory line, although I'm not going to complain. I was a little bit iffy when I first seen it and seen that it didn't have a collector's cover art deal, where they get somebody to go and commission new art. I was a little bit, discouraged when I first seen that they wasn't going to go that route with it. But then I happened to think that Psycho 2 and Psycho 3 also did not do that, and they were collector's editions, so why not just grin and bear it, I guess. And as far as the movie would go in general, it is nowhere near my favorite film, not by any stretch of the imagination, but I still like it and appreciate it enough. I give it a 3 out of 5. It's got rewatchability. It's got some really neat effects. This is probably the main thing about this one. It's pretty early CGI. I hate CGI in general, especially early CGI. But it's done really well here. I mean, it's a Universal movie, so money was poured into it. It doesn't look, really cheap. It looks like it's from '92, but it doesn't look bad. You can pretty well hold it against this movie and praise this movie for being very innovative with the CGI for the time. But like I said, it's funny. It's cool. Bruce Willis's character is pretty fun. I don't really have no complaint with it. It's just maybe not necessarily my type of film overall, although I can certainly see where people would be really, really interested in something like this. And there's a lot of people that like this. I know a lot of people that like this. It just really isn't my type of movie, but I do appreciate it. And like I said, it's still 3 out of 5. Very watchable, fun. can't complain. There's what it looks like without the slip. Do not want to go through the trouble of trying to remove the slip from the case here, but I'm going to show you. There's the disc. I can get that around. There you go. And that art, which might have been like a theatrical poster or something at the time, it's the reversible. I can get it. There it is. That's the reversible art here. More or less same stuff there. I guess the movie's pretty well renowned for the effects, but it's not loaded to the brim with extras. Oh, and also there's another broke case in the mail. Can you see that? Can you see how that got chipped? They put these movies in these I don't know, mailers. They're like cardboard mailers, and I still managed to get them cracked more times than not. I think maybe the mail person just loves delivering mail to me so much that they squeeze it so tight that they pop my cases every time. I don't know. Or maybe they're just like, well, here's this jerk who gets mail all the time, so just throw it over there. Nonetheless, the extras on this include a brand new Making of Death Becomes Her, featuring interviews with director Robert Zemeckis, writer David Coep, director of photography Dean Cundy, production designer Rick Carter, and special effects artist Lance Anderson and David Anderson, a vintage making of featurette, because I guess we couldn't get none of these guys back for a new supplement, a photo gallery, and a theatrical trailer. So that more or less is your Blu-ray Collector's Edition release for Scream Factory's Death Becomes Her. And I will say, if you're really, really anal about transfers and whatnot, this one looks more good than, bad, I guess you could say. Although there were some scenes, especially in the beginning, when you see them setting in the theater and everything, and you notice this, when there's really not much light, there's not much detail. Maybe that's normal, but there's moments where the transfer looks kind of bad. I guess there's not grainy or nothing like that. It just seems like detail is really soft. It's SAWFT. You know the rest if you watch NXT, and I'll save you the embarrassment of me trying to reenact that. But some of it is soft, and some of it still looks good. Close-ups look good. So that's it. That is Death Becomes Her, a bit of an odd choice for Scream Factory, I guess, or maybe it's just odd in my book because I don't know. It just seems a little bit of a interesting choice. Solid movie, good but not great. Although you could say great special effects. So if you want to pick that up, go on over to Scream Factory and get that, and yeah, pick it up if you want to. If you want it with a slipcase, you probably want to get it now.